Yo, what's up my YouTube nation, this is Blaze. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment, and click that notification bell. Today we're doing a new type of video today. We're doing my ultimate dream PC gaming build. And let's start off with telling you guys the price for this gaming build. It's going to run you $2,750. And you guys are thinking, geez, that's a ton of money. Well, it is a ton of money, but this is like your really good specs. Like, this PC would dominate. You know, it would be able to run games in 4K. You would be able to stream on it. You'd be able to record in it. You'd probably be able to stream in 4K or 1440p at like 120 frames per second, something like that, depending on your monitor and your TV, that kind of stuff. But this thing is going to be a monster. Let's start off with all the components. Starting off, I decided to go with my CPU is the AMD Ryzen 7 1800X 3.6 GHz 8-core processor, and it costs $295. You guys might be thinking, why didn't I just decide to go with the Intel i8700K, 7700K, 6700K, or like an extreme processor, which would cost way more, depending on which extreme processor is, because there are some cheaper ones that are like, you know, $400 or $500 ones, some that are, you know, $1,000 ones. There's lots of different types of extreme processors for different prices. But the reason I decided to go with AMD is I actually watched quite a few YouTube videos today, and I went through all the videos and I was determining what would be the best processor for the price for rendering in Adobe Premiere Pro, which is where I would be rendering my videos out on this PC. I would be rendering in Adobe Premiere Pro CC 2018, 4K, 60 FPS, 100 megabytes per second video size. So extremely big files, which is what I currently render on, is the 4K, 60 frames per second, 100 megabytes per second when I do Adobe Premiere Pro videos, but it takes a lot of time for my videos to render, like 1 hour, 2 hours for one video to finish. With this PC, it would probably just be a few minutes. It'd be super fast. With all the PC specs, it'd be extremely fast. So that's why I decided to go with the AMD Ryzen 7 1800X 3.6 GHz 8 cores. Let's show you guys. I have all the links to all the different parts of this PC on Amazon already, because I actually spent time, you know, organizing this video and everything. So it's max turbo frequency is 4.0, 8 cores, 16 threads. This thing is a monster CPU. You can also get it with the motherboard, but I looked up the motherboard that it comes with, and it's rated 3.5 stars on Amazon, so it's not rated that good. I'll show you guys clicking on it. It's going to show the rating really high, but if you do just the motherboard, then it's going to be 3.5 stars. So let me show you guys just the motherboard. So the motherboard that it comes with is the Gigabyte 370. Let me show you guys this. I don't have a link to this one yet, so I'll have to pull up a new one. Alright, so now I have a link to the motherboard that I was telling you guys that is 3.5 stars. It is right here. It is rated 3.5 stars. Not very good. Lots of people say 1-star rating, 2-star rating. That's by 277 reviews. That's 3.7. It's not rated that good. I found a way better motherboard for my build, so we're going to show you guys that one. So here we go with just the processor. Let's show you guys some different ratings, like the reviews and that kind of stuff. So basically, it's got the ultimate performance for value, game creators, all that stuff. Superior performance versus the i7 6900K. That is your $1,000 processor. Let me show you guys the price of an i7 6900K. See, if you want a new one, it's going to cost you... They don't actually sell it on Amazon right now, but this one right here is like $1,000. It's the i7 6900K. You can buy the i7 6850K for $414. And that one's a really good one as well, but if you want the i7 6900K, you can't even buy it right now, which is because it's extremely expensive. So it recommends the 1700, but the 1800 is even better than the 1700. So that's why I decided to go with that one. So let's click off of that. So let's go to, let's look at this. So it's not the best picture from Amazon that they put on there, but if you actually go to the actual website, you can see this image in clearer specs, but I can read it to you still. So it says video encoding minus 6% of this $1,000 CPU over here. It's got 6% less encryption, which is fine. And then 5% better gaming, and then plus 1% premium gaming in 4K, equal streaming, and then negative 6% content creation. So that's for the price. So this is compared to an i7-6900K, which is an extreme processor, and that one is an actual beast. That one costs $1,000, this one only costs $300, so it's definitely a better buy. See, it's comparing it to the i7-6900K. So that's pretty cool that this processor is pretty much the same as that. Let's show you guys some actual video reviews from people besides the company, you know. So they're saying total beast of a CPU, AMD finally gets it right, the best for now, fantastic, a great CPU over here, screaming fast processor, bang for your buck, makes a lot of heat, but I keep it cool. Still rates at 5 stars though. 5 stars. Holy smokes. Good job AMD. Awesome with the correct memory. Great chip. This processor is way ahead of its competition for the value and the money. I think this processor is more like an older Intel Extreme processor. Exactly. So I was comparing it to the Extreme processor. That's basically, it's a beast. And I can actually show you guys later if I added in some benchmarks of this processor that I found on a YouTube video. So I'll have to show it to you guys. But I'll take some pictures of that and I'll show it to you guys. So that is the processor. So let's go to the next part, which is our liquid CPU cooler. It's 156 bucks, but that is from Outlet PC. If you want to buy it from Amazon, it's going to cost you 156 bucks, which Amazon has an amazing return policy. They let you return products if they don't work, that kind of stuff. Sometimes there's restrictions on that and stuff, like usually you have to do within a month, but if it doesn't work out of the box, then just return it or get a new one, and then you should be good to go with Amazon. I've had to return things from Amazon if they don't work, and then they're usually pretty good about it. Sometimes they're not perfect, but Amazon's usually pretty good. So with this liquid cooling system, it's 156 bucks, a 280 millimeter fan, liquid cooling system, and it's got RGB as well. So the lights are going to change color by NZXT, which is a really good brand for RGB and that kind of stuff. So let's show you guys some of the reviews. So yeah, it's got advanced liquid cooling, all this stuff right here. Talks about the different models. Let's show you guys the reviews. I guess I don't have any reviews of it, but they do say, you know, out of 300 people that rated it, 57% rated it 5-star, 16% rated it 4-star, and 14% rated it 1-star. But I think it's just if they got a bad one or they didn't set it up right or something like that. Sometimes like people say, oh, it's too big for the case, it didn't work or whatever, you know. It's rated an extremely good one. There's also other coolers you can get, like for example, you could go with, let me show you guys. You could go with the 241, which is $131, and it's a little cheaper if you want a little bit smaller of a one, depending on your case size and that kind of stuff. But I decided to go with the Mac Daddy, the 280mm. There's also the 360, which you could go with, but I decided to go for the middle between those two. So that is the cooler that I decided to go with. My friend recommends that one, so it's the one I decided to go with for the build. The next thing is going to be your motherboard, which is a really important thing. And I recently changed the motherboard. I had a different one on there, but I was looking at like future upgrades and stuff like that. So I decided to go with the ROG Strix X470F Gaming ATX AM4 motherboard. Let me show you guys that one right here, which is this one right here. And the other one I was thinking about was the Strix 370F. But the 470F is just a little bit more money and it comes with better stuff. So let's just compare the two so you guys can see. So this is the 470F. The reason I decided to use it is because it has SLI for your graphics cards. It's also got 2 M.2 slots, which is extremely good for the price. It just looks like a beast. Let me show you guys the specs on this beauty. So it's got unmatched personalization. It's got the RGB. It's got the 4-pin header. It's got the colorful design, all that kind of stuff. Maximum overclocking performance. It's got the armored plating. It's got the fan headers. It has all that stuff. So let's show you guys the next one. So it's built for hardcore gaming. It's got safe slot PCI SLI and Crossfire X, which is, your AMD SLI and basically your Nvidia SLI. It's got 2 of those, so you can do dual graphics cards, that kind of stuff. It's also got your dual M.2 Type M slots. It's got one over here and one, I think, underneath this. The photo's a little confusing on that. They might be stacked, these 2 right here, but it shows one here and it shows one underneath this over here. And I think there's a screw over here is what I was seeing. So there are 2 M.2 slots on this thing. And then it's got your 4 DIMM slots, which in my build has 64 gigabytes of RAM, which is perfect for this build. And I don't think I'm going to need more RAM than 64, which is going to be quite a bit. And then it's got your front panel. It's got the USB 3.1 Gen 2, which is extremely fast USB speeds. Let's show you guys versus the 370, which is slightly cheaper. If you want to save 30 bucks, you could go with this one, but you won't be able to upgrade as easily, Why try to buy another motherboard when you can just, spend $30 now and then you'll be good for like a while, So let's just show you guys. This one's similar to the last one, except it's got, the 4 DIMM slots. I'll show you guys. So the 4 DIMM slots, it's got the USB 3.1. It's only got one of the NVMe M.2 SSDs. It still has the 3.1 Type A and Type C, which is pretty good, but it's not as good as a motherboard. So that's why I decided to go with your 470F gaming motherboard for $210. It's rated extremely good on Amazon. Let me show you guys the reviews. This board is way better than the reviews let on. I own 2 of these. They're both great. This guy says bad M.2 slot, but some people just say that kind of stuff, or maybe they got a bad motherboard. And if you got a bad one, just return it, no big deal. But these other guys are saying, 4 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars, back and forth, 5 stars, 5 stars. So 5 stars over here, yeah. So it's rated extremely good motherboard. So I highly recommend this motherboard. You basically need to check other people's reviews of items, before you buy them, just to make sure that the product's going to work good. So that is the motherboard that I decided to go for the build. The next is the RAM. I decided to go with a faster speed RAM. I was going to go to the 3000 megahertz speeds, or MTS, which I don't even know what that stands for, but it's just a faster speed. You got the 2400 or the 2666 speed in megahertz, I think it is. It says speed start at 2400, but this one's the 2666. So it's 64 gigabytes of RAM. It costs $662.50. The reason I'm spending that much money on RAM is because I was watching a YouTube video, and he basically did a video comparison of if you have 16 gigabytes of RAM, 32 gigabytes of RAM, and you got 64 gigabytes of RAM, how fast is your video going to render in Adobe Premiere Pro? Now, when he switched between the 16 gigabyte and the 32 gigabyte, he only got 15 to 20% faster for the, the read and writes and that kind of stuff. And the playback was a little bit faster and a little bit more clear, but when you step to the 64 gigabytes, it's 3.1 times as fast as the 16 gigabytes. It does cost you 4 times as much, for the RAM, because you're going from 16 to 64, so that's 4 times more money. But it's just extremely good rating on the RAM. It's 1,155 reviews. Simple and effective. People rate this extremely good. I don't even need to tell you guys how many 5-star ratings this RAM has, but I did some research, and this RAM is rated extremely good. It's got all that good stuff, and I think this RAM is going to be amazing for the build. It's a 4-pack of RAM, so that's definitely the one to go with. The next is your M.2 SSD. Since this is a desktop and not a laptop, you can use different size. Solid state drives. This one should be good to go. I'll have to double check on see if that one will work. I'm pretty sure it will. It's the Western Digital solid state drive. It's $110, and it should be good to go. So this is cheaper than the Samsung version, which I have for my laptop. This is the 3D NAND M.2. This should be no problem for my desktop. It's got super fast speeds. Let me show you guys the reviews. 146 reviews. Excellent, but why in the world would you use, why in the world no brand includes the darn screw? Yeah, my laptop Also, I think when it first came, like when I first bought my laptop, it did have the screw, but I think I lost it. But these M.2 hard drive companies do need to include the M.2 screw to like secure your hard drive, because I had to take another one from the back of my laptop and then reuse that one, to secure the M.2 drive. So the screws are a little bit tricky. I agree with this guy, but basically he says it's extremely good, and this guy says extremely good. They all say extremely good. This guy says dead on arrival, but that sometimes did not work with the X470, because he says that his was dead on arrival. Well, I think he just got a bad one, but the rest of these people all say 5-star rating. So every once in a while you're going to get a person that says, oh, it's not very good, but everyone else says it's extremely good. So they say no screw detected, or there's no screw, but lots of companies don't have that, so you can't really be blaming the company on that. So that is the solid state drive that I decided to go with. It's a SATA 3 M.2, should be good to go. That's this one right over here. It's a 500 gigabyte one. The reason I'm going with the M.2 is it's extremely fast. You're going to get 500 megabyte speeds, depending on which one you decide to go with. Let's see, this one right here says up to 560 megabytes per second reads and 530 megabyte per second writes. But usually these things are a little bit higher than what you actually get, but it's going to be around 500, 400 megabytes per second versus your standard hard drive, which is going to be about 100 megabytes per second. So you're getting 5 times faster with the solid state drive. Your next one is going to be your Seagate Barracuda 2.5 7200 RPM internal hard drive. This thing right here is basically to add hard drive space to your desktop. It's 2 terabytes. The 4 terabyte version, I'll show you guys right here. So for the 1 terabyte version, it is $46. For the 2 terabyte version, it's $60. For 3, it is $84. And then 4 terabytes, it's $93. Your sweet spot is 4 terabytes, but do you really need 4 terabytes? You really don't. So I decided to go with the 2 terabytes for $60. So it's basically $30 per terabyte. Not too bad. 2,000 ratings on Amazon. I think this is going to be a really good hard drive. It's going to be a slower one, but it's basically your backup, for your videos and your games and that kind of stuff, to like launch those games. Then this is where the money in like the entire setup like starts coming on. So you got the MSI GeForce GTX 1080 Ti gaming video card. That's $870. Very expensive graphics card. I think it is this click right here. So it's $870. It's your top of your line graphics card. This is going to get you the 4K gaming, 60 FPS. It's going to get you your video streaming, your video recording, your 4K gameplay, all that stuff. It's going to be extremely good for playing videos back on Adobe Premiere Pro, all that stuff. It's going to be amazing graphics cards for the build. There's other versions. This one's a Trio. This one is Lightning Z. This one's overclocked. This one is overclock as well. This one's overclocked. They're all different prices. This is the one I decided to go with, the Gaming X, at $870. You guys have probably heard of the GTX 1080 Ti. It's a beast. Then for the case, I decided to go with the Corsair 750D ATX full tower case at $150, which is going to be the Obsidian 750 performance full tower case. This one right here is a monster. This one's got, your USB ports, it's got your microphone ports, it's got all these hard drive ports, it's got your other ports for the fans, all that kind of stuff. It's got, your 3.5 inch drives, your 2.5 inch drives. It's also got 4 tool-free dedicated solid-state cages, so you can put a lot of solid-state drives in this thing. It's also got the M.2 you can put in there, from the motherboard, because it's a really big case, so it'll be able to do the M.2 as well at $150. List price of $190. 791 reviews. Best case I've built in perhaps ever. 5-star rating. All these people say 5-star rating, 5-star rating, 4-star rating, 5-star rating, but it's rated extremely good. This guy doesn't like some things about you cannot remove the optical drive bay. I wouldn't even want to do that. People say excellent, easy to build, all that kind of stuff. They rate it extremely good. So that's the case I decided to go with. It's $150. It's expensive, but it's going to get the job done. Then your next one is going to be your power supply, because you're running a GTX 1080 Ti and you're running all this RAM right over here, and you're running this processor. You're going to need a good 850 power supply to run all this stuff. So let's just show you guys the EVA 850 Gold Plus power supply at $130. It's got 4,300 ratings, 5-star EVGA never lets me down. So he got some pictures of his power supply. He says 5-star rating. Well built, 4 stars. This guy says not SFX, but everyone else says 5-star, 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 4-star over here. But 4 and 5 stars. There's going to be lots of 5-star ratings on this power supply. They say it's extremely good power supply. So I put that in the case. My case is big, so it'll definitely fit the power supply in there. And then your last thing for the gaming setup is your RGB wired gaming keyboard. I did not include a mouse or Windows 10 OS in this gaming build because I already have a mouse, and chances are you guys already have a gaming mouse. If you have a gaming keyboard, then you don't need to buy another gaming keyboard. I don't have a gaming keyboard, so that's why I included it in the build. But if you guys want to buy a mouse, you could buy like a $10 one, or you could go, step up $40, $50, or even a $100 mouse. You could add that if you wanted to. Let's show you guys the gaming keyboard. So it's the Corsair K70 Lux RGB mechanical keyboard, USB pass-through with Cherry MX Brown keys, RGB LED backlit. Look how beautiful that keyboard looks. It looks like a beast. It's going to be a beast of a keyboard. I'm extremely excited to buy that keyboard. They have one with the mat as well, which is kind of cool. Ooh, it's quite expensive for the mat. I think I'd probably just go with the keyboard, but I do need to buy a mat for my mouse because I don't currently have one, so I'll probably be buying a mouse pad for my gaming mouse, but that one's $130. It's got 500 ratings. This guy says the keycaps are breaking in 6 months. I think he was just being kind of like hard on it, but everyone else is rating it really, really well. So this guy says definitely worth the investment. 5 stars. Perfect board. 2 stars. He says the lighting was very dim compared to my G513 and Razer Black Widow Chroma V2. This guy says extremely good. Works great. Honest review. He says 4-star rating. Overall, it's rated, extremely good. Some people rate it bad, but that's just because they're very, very picky people, or they got a bad unit, or they just don't like certain things about it. But overall, it's got, good rating. Let me show you guys. So if you go to customer reviews over here, or 70% of the people who rated this keyboard rated it 5 stars, 14% of them rated it 4 stars, and then you got very low percentage that rated it 3, 2, and 1 star ratings. So of your 500 people, 70% of them rated it 5 stars. So it's extremely good keyboard. No matter what those other people say, it's going to be a very good keyboard. You guys could also go with a Razer keyboard if you don't like Corsair for some reason, or you just don't want this keyboard. You could go with a Razer one, but either one would be about the same amount of money. $130 to $170 is probably your sweet spot for a good gaming keyboard, and that includes everything in the gaming build. So instead of this M.2, I could go with a little faster of one, that'll be a little bit quicker, which is a Samsung one. It'll cost like double the amount of money, but it would be faster. It would be your 2.5 to 3.5 gigabytes per second speeds. I could also get more hard drive internal space, and I could also go with another graphics card, but that's just, way too much money for the gaming build. So it's $2,750. This thing is going to be an absolute beast when I get the money to buy it. If you guys have any comments, questions, concerns, you guys think, oh, I should get this instead, or oh, I didn't do this right, or whatever, let me know in the comment section, and will gladly read your comments. Thank you very much for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment, and click that notification bell. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Blaze out.